right. It is December 3rd, which means it is past time for me to do my post-Nano video and my December planning. My goals and everything. So, I've already set up goals for the next year because next year is when everything's going to start going crazy. Because the number one question I always get when people find out that I've been doing Nano and been writing books is, when are they going to get published? The short stories that are prequels to the books will be starting to get published in January of 2019. And I've planned out to have the last book be of the series be my last year before I start publishing, because I wanted to complete all of the series before I started publishing it, just in case I needed to go back and change anything, like I do, which I will go over in my goals and plans. But yeah, the first series has 5 books, and the first one is focusing on the capital, and that's going to be about basically setting up how the world works, like the political part of it, and how everything's organized. And it's kind of mentioned in the short stories, but that's more how to get, like, the stories are more to introduce you to the culture and the characters and the way the world is. The first book will be more setting up the political part of it, because that is going to be a big focus on a lot of things. The first one's going to focus on Thane, and he's not going to show up until like halfway through the short stories, and that's really just going to be about him being born, and it's just a blip. He doesn't become vital until the first book. But yeah, my goals are my top goals are to edit the short stories, which I've gone through the editing process on them like once or twice already, so I've got like the basic part of it, but I want to keep editing and making sure they're perfect before they get published in January. I'm going to structure the series for the rewrites, which I'm kind of struggling with because I don't exactly know how to structure a series. Most of the structuring stuff I have is for a book, but I've kind of decided that, so the short stories will be the intro, and then we'll have another book, the Act 1, and then Act 2, and like each story will be an act in it. The last one that I'm going to be writing in next November is going to be the conclusion book, and it's going to wrap everything up. And then I need to outline the series, which is another thing I don't really know how to do. That one actually won't be that hard, really. I need to finish writing the Sky and Water stories, which is my 4th goal for the month. Because I have most of the Fire and Earth stories done. I have the first 4. Goal 5, I have language. Each of my goals, I want to do something for the language I'm creating for them. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for December, but I'll figure out something. History. I want to work on the history for the creatures that got created in the newest book that I just finished. Because I know nothing about them other than what was discovered in the books, which I can't say because it's like 5 years from being published. World building. The Torthstas, which are the okay, so the Fey Realm is set up with each of their kingdoms, and then there's portals into the human world that lead from each of the kingdoms. And the Torthstas are the lands that contain the portals. And it's basically like traditional folklore would talk about the fairy world and fairy rings. Basically, that's what the Torthstas are. It's a world, it's a section of the world that's kind of hidden. It's really hard to explain. But yeah, it's the world containing the portal into the Fey Realm. And it's hidden from normal sight. You have to like really seek it out. Number 8, website after Nano blog, because I didn't even do a Nano blog this year. I have not touched my website in a few months. I probably should. 9, structure individual books. Yeah. Outline individual books. Yeah. YouTube updates. Here's my first one. I'm going to try to do weekly Monday updates on everything. So when I took these goals and I broke down the month by days. And I have each day broken down and what I want to do in that day, like my main goal in that day. I'll do other things, but that's my main goal for the day. The first was rest, because there was no way I was doing anything other than resting on the first. The second is for editing the first story, which I did it on AutoCrit, and it has a ranking of 77 point something. So it's got a really decent ranking, because there's bestsellers that only reach the low 80s. So, I mean, it'd be nice to reach 80 on there, but I think the most that needs to be fixed there is I use the past tense was too many times. So I need to go back and figure out how to word things differently. Today, my goal was... Excuse me, hiccups. Today, my goal was to structure the overall arc, which... I mean... I basically have it. I just need to actually write it out. Because everything does tie together. I just don't know how. Like, I know the beginning and the end. I know I'm only one book away from the end, but I have no idea. Tomorrow I'm going to be structuring story 6, which is where I need to pick up with the short stories. The 5th I will be outlining story 6, and the 6th I will be writing it. The 7th I will be structuring the 7th story, outlining it on the 8th, writing it on the 9th. The 10th I will be doing character arcs for everybody. And the 11th I will be writing the 7th. Oh, wait, no. So the 9th I will be editing the 2nd story. Sorry. The 11th I'll be writing the 7th story. The 12th I will be doing the structure for the 8th story. And then I'll be doing the outline on the 13th, writing it on the 14th. I will be editing the 3rd story on the 15th. The 16th, I will be doing the structuring for the 9th story, outlining on the 17th and writing it on the 18th. I will be doing the outline for the 10th story on the 19th, structuring it. I think those are supposed to be reversed. On the 20th and writing on the 21st. 22nd, I will be editing the 4th story. And 23rd, I'll be doing the structure for the 11th story. 24th and 25th are my days of rest, and I'm sure you can guess why. The 26th, I will be doing the outline for the 11th story, and I will be writing it on the 27th. The 28th, I'll be doing the structuring for the 12th story, and editing the 5th story on the 29th, outlining the 12th story on the 30th, and writing it on New Year's Eve, which I had originally put as a day of rest, but I had to squeeze that in there. So, after that, I will be doing the structure for the first book and outlining it in February. And I will be doing the structure for the second book in March. And for Camp Nano, I will be doing my rewrites for the first book in April. May, I will be outlining the second book. And for the second round of Camp Nano, I will be doing the rewrites for that. Which I realized is in July. So in June, I will be structuring the third book. And August, I will be outlining the third book. But I won't be rewriting it until December, because September, October, November, I will be focusing on the final book in the series. But that is my plan for the next year. My goals, what is that word? Resolutions. I am still recovering from Nano. But I will catch you in the next video, hopefully next week. And hopefully I will have some progress. See you next week.